Hey everybody, this is David at Homestead Hacks. What we're cooking today is chicken breast with cream of chicken soup. And that's it. It's that simple. A lot of times I do videos using a slow cooker. And the reason I do that, I try to get it out to people how simple it is to make your own meals without going to a restaurant. That's part of homesteading, is learning how to separate yourself from unnecessary cost, like going to a restaurant where you're going to spend 2 or 3 times more than what you would if you just bought your own groceries. Now this right here, we'll put probably about 5 pounds of chicken breast in here, and I always just do this by eye. The cream of chicken soup, and there's a name brand, and there's a Laura Lynn brand, and it's a lot cheaper. I just happen to have this up in the cabinet, but I usually use this. It's just as good, and you don't add any water. The only thing you put in here, and I'll show you here in a little bit when we continue the video, is you'll put chicken breast, cream of chicken soup, turn it on, put it on low, let it cook all day. That's it. It's that simple. So I'm trying to get it across to people how simple it is to cook your own food at home. In this generation, people are getting so out of touch with their food sources. You know, not only does people not raise their own animals to eat, it's getting to the point now to where people won't even cook their own food from the grocery store. So just about every meal that people eat is at a restaurant. And it's really, really getting bad. And there's so many people that don't even know how to cook. I've been cooking since I was 12 years old. My dad was disabled at a young age. My mom went to work when I was 12. I learned to cook. I cooked pretty much everything. By the time I was 20 years old, there's nothing I couldn't cook. So I've got a lot of experience, and that's why I like about doing this homestead channel. Not only do I have a lot of farming experience, I got a lot of cooking experience too, so I can share a lot of those ideas with you. And I believe that learning how to cook is also very valuable to the homesteader, because that's part of it. You can't homestead and then go eat at a restaurant. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to teach people how they can learn what to do, simple little things. Now, I know that some people think that homesteading should be completely off-grid, but that's very rare. If you do that, my hat's off to you. And I would love to be able to do that one day. And here we're using electricity, of course, you know. So, but homesteading isn't just about being completely away from the grid. It's about doing things that pertain to things that you can do on your own that you don't have to pay somebody else to do. Raising your own crops, raising your own animals, making your own comfrey plant salves, and growing your own honey for your honey from your honeybees and such. So that's the idea. Raising your own chickens for your eggs, raising your own meat if you want to. Now, there's different levels of that. Of course, I'm not going to get into that, make this a real long, drawn-out video. So that's, in a little bit, we'll get the chicken in and I'll show you the next step. Okay, I went ahead and opened up the cans. And here's what we're starting out off with. I'll tell you what the ounces. This right here, I use the big ones, a 26 ounce cream of chicken soup. Let's see, doing this one-handed here, so I'm going to try to. So just dump in, and don't be tempted to put in water with this. You do not put water in with this. Now, a lot of people will ask, too, how much of each compared to how much meat. The way I go by it is I never have a set amount of ingredients that you add. The only thing I do is make sure, and I'll show you here in a second. Okay. I went over and got my chicken here so I can, and I went back to look to see how many pounds there was. There's 8 pounds of chicken here total, 8 pounds. So, and we got 3 of these cream of chicken. But I got 1 layer put in there so far, and I'll put another layer of chicken, and let's go ahead and put another cream of chicken soup. And like I said, you'll be tempted to add water to this because the consistency looks thick, but you do not. Okay, I put the rest of the chicken in, so there's 8 pounds of chicken in there total. This don't have to be exact. Now, like I said, don't be tempted to add water to this, because what's going to happen is, as this chicken gets hot, it's going to create its own moisture. There's a lot of water inside that chicken breast. So if you add water now, it's going to be so runny it won't be it'll be good to eat. But you want it to be consistency of gravy when you're done. And if you add water to it, the consistency is not going to be very good. Because a lot of people, what they'll do, and it's what we do, we'll make some biscuits with this, or mashed potatoes, and use this as the gravy. So this is raw chicken. Remember, raw chicken, you do not cook it. And we put, right here, I put 3 of these 26-ounce cans. Right there, you can see it. 26-ounce cans. Doesn't matter what brand. Cream of chicken. 8 pound of chicken. 3 cans of cream of chicken soup. We'll put the lid on it. And what I usually do is keep it on high for 1 hour. Put it on high for 1 hour, and that just gets your unit hot. And that's basically all that does. After an hour, come back and put it on low. Then from there, it's basically you just cook it as long as you want to. It should take about, we'll look at the clock to be sure, because I always do this by eye. So it's 10 o'clock right now, 9:57. So we'll see when it's completely done, and I'll show you what it looks like from there. Okay, it's been 4 hours, exactly. Now, here's the reason. Look here is why you don't add water to this. If you can see the consistency of this right here, look at all that liquid it made. Now, the chicken breast here, in my opinion, should cook probably a couple more hours. I like it just a little bit more tender. It's ready to eat. It's done. It's cooked through. You can actually take a fork and poke through. I tried a little piece of these. I don't know if I do this one-handed. But you can, see, it's hard to do one-handed here. But you can stick the fork through it and break it in half, and you can see it's cooked all the way through. Now, that was at 4 hours. Now, you can eat it this way. See how this one right here is, look, it's falling apart. So it's starting to fall apart. It probably depends where it was sitting out in the slow cooker. Some of the ones towards the bottom are already falling apart a little bit more, like right here, for example. So, 4 hours is enough, but I'll probably go 2 more hours. But this right here, I'm telling you, it is the best chicken and gravy, easy to make. I mean, there's enough here to feed 10 people probably. So you can figure, what the cost of the 8 pounds of chicken breast would cost. I think right now, I saw it on Aldi's. This is not where I got it, but Aldi's had it on sale for $1.79 a pound, $1.69, really cheap. And I've seen, and actually this chicken right here, I bought it at a place called United Grocery, and it was a Purdue brand. It was $1.39, and that's really, really cheap. It's hard to get it that cheap. It's usually around the $2 range, but that's a pretty good deal now. Now, what I'm going to make with it, and it's another thing that's easy to make, I'm going to make some biscuits, and I'm going to use, now you can use any kind of mix you want. This is one of those ingredients where you add 2 ingredients to it, the flour and milk, and that's it, nothing else. It's that easy. Now, don't make fun of my cooking sheet here. This is my stone that it's really, really old, but it still works good. It's got some, it's stone. It's solid stone, but it's baked on like cast iron. So it still works very good. I rinse it off, clean it. It's ugly, but it's clean and it works good. Now here's my mix for my biscuits, and all I do with this, I'll try to do this one-handed and demonstrate one of them for you, is I got the oven preheated to 425, and that's all you do right there. And just that'll be a pretty good sized biscuit. So I'll fill this whole tray up, put it in the oven, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here's the biscuits. I got 7 biscuits, and I doubled the batch. So you can make as many as you want. They didn't take much out of the box. It's very simple. This is better than eating out. And this meal total, you know, maybe a half hour at the most. And as much food as here, most families could eat on that for 2 or 3 days. That's a lot of chicken in there. And the biscuits, now like I said, if you want to cook that chicken just a little bit longer, we went 4 hours there. I'm going to go about 6 because I like mine a little bit more tender where it's falling apart. That way I like it better on the end, and it'll thicken that gravy up just a little bit more. So that's about it. Just another tip from Homestead Hacks. I'll be doing more cooking videos because I've got a lot of knowledge to share, not only just farming, but cooking as well. So that's about it, folks. Don't forget, please help share our videos, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Homestead Hacks.